Hey everyone, welcome to Anita's Joint, hashtag extendAJoint, where every day is payday, baby. It's your girl Anita flying high, and we back again. So I have a new sports and spirituality blog out um, with Paul Riley, as you see it from the title. So this is the third time um, we're talking about sexual misconduct, sexual deviances in sports. With Mindy, we talked about with Mindy. We talked about with uh, what's his name, Cristiano Ronaldo, and there's probably many, many more out there, right? More stories out there that we haven't become aware of, right? They haven't surfaced, and so, like I said, this is the age of a. Like pretty much all is being revealed, right? All is being revealed in collectives, right? I wanted to share with you all the blog I have right quick, and then we're gonna go over because I'm very interested. I haven't watched this video from the attacking third, and as you, well, I'll go into it. We'll go into it, but I just want to share my link with you all. So if you don't know how to get to, I put it in the comment section. I put my link in the comment section. There's gematria behind Paul Riley and everything that's going on behind his name. And like I say, like I told y'all with Mindy, and like I told you with Ronaldo, in these cases, this is what you would say the shadow government. I call them the shadow government, the elites, these forces that we live under the dominion of. They do acts like what we're hearing about Paul Riley. They do. It's a wicked world, y'all. It's a wicked world we live in. And more story. This is not the first story. And it's not going to be the last story that we hear about sexual misconducts, accusations. And you think about, oh my goodness, our fucking quote unquote, your freaking president. I mean, just look at his son. Look what his son has done. You know what I'm saying? Sleepy Joe. All right. This is my website, my blog, right? NWSL, Paul Riley ritual, all seeing eye, right? All right, and pretty much what is happening is just like Mindy, just like whoever they present in front of us to react to, they're being used to kill a principle and virtue that they feel needs to be destroyed. Now there's a lot of people in this reality that have been sexually abused, sexually anything sexual. A lot of people that have been in these experiences. And so, and a lot of them are in the entertainment world, and some are not in the entertainment world. But since we're doing sports, and since sports is there's a bigger audience, they can get a lot of energy from that, and they can kill principle and virtue they feel that needs to be destroyed during this current time. So with Paul Riley, he has the gematria of what they were trying to do, right? And also, like I said, it was probably his time to be exposed. You know what I'm saying? Just like when I think about Mindy, when I think about Ronaldo, apparently Mindy's reach doesn't go that far. Apparently Ronaldo's reach goes a little farther than Mindy, and apparently Paul Riley's reach doesn't go that far as Ronaldo's. You know what I'm saying? There's different classes that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Different ranks that they're in, right? But Paul Riley, his time was up. His number was called. As I say, all seeing I equals 111 in the gematria. And Paul Riley's name has the 119, 47, 124, and the 52. All seeing I in simple English gematria is the same, 119, just like his name. And also authority, because Paul Riley was the coach for North Carolina. He's the pretty much not to say the authority figure, 4752. And I go more into details about this on the blog, but I just wanted to give you just a glimpse. But I want to get to some of the videos that have been presented to us, because we're the ones that are reacting to what's being presented to us. So we have to be in control of what, all they really want is a reaction. They want you to be, upset and anger and shit like that. And you have a right to be, I guess, but you still need to be wise and not go off the rail and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a sound mind, right? But the gematria is there on the rituals, but also, like I told y'all before with Mindy and Ronaldo, I believe the victims always, because I don't see why we know some men and women accuse other people of sexual misconduct to get a payday, and then we know men and women accuse people of sexual misconduct because it happened. Okay, that's just the two sides of the one coin. Either it happened or either didn't happen. I can't be the judge of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't in the situation. But off bat, I'm gonna believe the victim. That's just from the jump. That's just how I am. You may think differently because the way you've been brought up, but I'm going to believe the victim. But I'm aware of people that have been accused of sexual misconduct and they didn't do it. And they didn't do it. They're going to get their karma either in this lifetime or the next lifetime. That we're not the judge of that. We're not going to be able to give that karma. You know what I'm saying? Us as individuals. We're going to be looking at Paul Riley like, boy, why would you even have an accusation like that brought up against you? You must have been doing some shit. I'm just saying, just like Ronaldo and with Mindy and all these high profile people, quote unquote, that be doing these things behind closed doors and thinking they're not going to get in trouble because they're high profile people. Look at Harvey Weinstein. Look at all these motherfuckers that are, that it's their time. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, all seeing eye. 47 with authority and 52, same as Paul Riley with his 47 and 52. The cabal is another name for the shadow government. If you know about the cabal, it's just these entities that work behind the scenes. We'll never see them. We see their puppets. We see who gets used on the puppet strings. We will never see the cabal until we finally see them. You know what I'm saying? We'll never see who's working behind the shadows, who's meeting with these other entities that don't look like us. You know what I'm saying? 47 with the 52 and the 47 is again a Republican and Democrat, the same side. It's a one coin. The gematria helps you identify more angles to look at of what they're trying to project and portray a narrative to us, just like we talked about in the last video with NWSL. With USA being exposed, we seeing the both sides of the one coin. You know what I'm saying? And this is divide and conquer, order out of chaos. This is just tactics of the enemy, the taxes of Saturn, this taxes of Satan. We live in his realm. This is what he does. So when you're able to identify it, one, you won't be living in fear as much. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that this boy, just like Mindy, multiple former players, like, damn, bro, like, come on now, so we know. So everything they do is ritualistically. So there's a lot of people that he's probably done this to ritualistically because, especially if you don't get caught. And especially if you have people that you rub shoulders next to that are not going to say anything to you. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to say because they probably do the same things. I don't want to be friends with a pedophile, and I don't want to be friends with a rapist. I don't want to be friends with a child trafficker. I don't want to be friends with any of these people that do these things. Now, his friends, they may not do it, but I'm sorry. They say you turn into who you tune into. So if you're hanging around Paul Riley and he's doing this to multiple players, you probably doing it to multiple players too. You know what I'm saying? You still got blood on your hands. You know what I mean? And so Paul Riley, whoever he's implemented with, we're going to be seeing how they react as well too, because Paul Riley could be like, listen, actually, such and such knew, they knew too. Look, he can start exposing a lot of people, but they might have to off him. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see how the story unfolds because, I bet you a lot of people knew about Mr. Paul Riley. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's innocent. I don't know. But yeah, the Gematrios today, this news released on the 30th. Today is December 30th, with 92 days left. Remember, in the sign of Libra, we're in Libra season, control COVID-19. Remember, this is all the simulation, but also the Great Awakening. All divide and conquer, all order out of chaos, all these things are tying into the cycle of what we're experiencing, right? Well, Libra season is balance, justice. We've seen a lot of managers get fired, and especially in NWSL and other leagues, but mainly in NWSL. There's a lot of shit coming up, I guess it's just time to clean house right now. Shit, thank goodness. But how long did it take, though? How long did they know? How long? And hopefully more players, if there's other coaches, hopefully and I know there's probably women coaches too, and men, but there's mainly more men coaches in the female leagues, so it doesn't really help. But we'll see who else, because I swear we'll have the first guys coming out talk about their managers in the men's league. I feel like that will come too, because they may not be more embarrassed, but We know they did it. We know, like, I think Terry Crews had came out something about, like, people were harassing him. It don't matter if you're a female or male. You know what I'm saying? These entities don't care. They just want to control you. They want you to be in submission. They're sick. This is a wicked world. This is what they do. And you think that they don't just do it to us adults. They do it to children a lot, mainly children, because it's the most purest. It's fucked up, this wicked world, right? But like I said, he just turned 58 7 days ago, and so God is also G is 7, like the Freemasons, and their symbol, right? As you can see, eye horse, all these are the symbolism that we see every single day, like CBS, right? CBS is on Paramount, the NWSL, and they have the eye as well, and this is the all-seeing eye ritual. Big Brother is always watching us as we're watching Big Brother. All right, and so we're gonna see what they're gonna do with NWSL. I'm gonna see what they do. They're gonna look at our reactions. How are they reacting? You know what I'm saying? What are they saying? And I'm one person reacting, telling them, listen, I see what y'all doing. I see how y'all trying to, use Paul Riley. Everybody needs to be exposed. Everybody needs to be exposed. If you're touching your players, what the fuck, bro? If she's touching her players, what the fuck, bro? Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Why? You know what I'm saying? And it's not just in sports; it's in all over the fucking world. This is a pandemic of sexual perversions that go on in this wicked world that we live in. It's just plain and simple. This is what goes on, and like people don't want to talk about it because it's like, this shit goes on. Like, what the fuck? This shit goes on. Like, your neighbor could be a pedophile, but you don't even know, because pedophiles get or rapists, they get just a slap on the wrist, because this is what the elites and the shadow government, that's what they like to do. They like to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to listen to what the attacking third had to say, what those two ladies had to say, and also going on Twitter to see what other people were reacting and responding, so we can see where their mentalities are, and based upon my reaction, what y'all's reaction is, so we can collectively have I just want to see where the collective is when it comes to this, because we would like more people. We would like more. We would like this to stop, but it's not going to if people don't have the strength or the courage to say something, right? And it's a test for us too, as the people that live on the planet. Are we gonna say something about it? Are we gonna just like, oh well, they're lying, just like I did with Cristiano Ronaldo, and just like I did with Mindy? Are we gonna say something about it just because they're high profile people? Are you just gonna be like, no, they didn't do it? Just like just like I said with LeBron James and Cappy Pondexter. Are we gonna say something about it? Are we gonna do something? Are you gonna say something? You have a voice of your own. You have an opinion. You have your own mind. Are you gonna say something? And you don't have to say something. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, you don't have to, but you see what's going on. I see what's going on, and I'm gonna speak on it. And also, when it comes to that, damn, I had a fucking point. I lost it. But y'all check the blog out. If you want to learn, shout out to Zach. He's the one that, let me see, where's it at? Oh yeah, Zach. Yeah, Zach is the one that is taught me about gematria, right? Yeah. So, people are, still, I don't know. People may not be ready yet, but it is what it is. So let me go into this video. Stop sharing. Let me make sure I put my disclaimers. All right. Copyright disclaimer. All right. I'm a fair use, all that stuff. So I'm gonna be going into the attacking third. I just want to see what they were, because they're kind of like when I Googled it. Let me show y'all. When you Google Paul Riley, let me show you. When you Google Paul Riley, he's all over right? Just like Mindy was, just like Ronaldo was. sexual misconduct, alleged sexual coercing. And remember we talked. And remember what happened with the Olympians, the Olympians, um, with the Olympians. What was that? Nasser. He was touching the girls, the Olympians. Yeah, this is the same. It's the same systematic fuckery. Who all knew? A lot of people knew. They just didn't say anything because they're afraid. That's fucked up. But when they thinking about, honestly, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, this wicked world, because they rather turn their cheek than say what's right, because they feel no one else will listen, and that's fucked up, right? That's fucked up that we live in a world like that. It's wicked. It's fucking wicked, right? It's fucking wicked. But have the strength, have the courage, have the will to know what you feel is right, to do what is right. You feel that is right. You know what I'm saying? And then there's evidence that's gonna come through that you know it's right. You know what I'm saying? Have the courage and strength. Don't hide. You know what I mean? Show your face. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing my face. And I continue to bring up other things because this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time. But yeah, Paul Riley. So I wanted to, like I said, CBS Sports is very interesting. So let me just share this with y'all. Let me go on to one more time. All right. Let me just put that, and I'm gonna share. This verse real quick. Remember Ephesians 6:12 says, "Our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms." So we have to put on the full armor of God. So we have to put on the full armor of God so that we or you can make your stand against the evil schemes, against the devil's schemes. Let me say that one more time. So we have to put on the armor of God, the full armor, everything, mind, body, soul, spirit, everything. We have to be cloaked. And listen, I'm not all holy. I'm not innocent. You know what I'm saying? I've done things I'm not proud of. But I ain't doing this fuck shit. That's for sure. So we have to put on the armor of God. And remember, we have to stand and speak against the devil's schemes. You know what I'm saying? This shit can't be going on, especially for the children. Especially for the children. The children need us. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me share this one real quick. All right, here it is. And this isn't for everyone. This isn't for everyone. No, not everyone can fucking handle this shit. Not everyone can handle the truth because we've been lied to all our lives. Not everyone can handle it. And honestly, it is what it is. It's just not for you. I don't judge you. Just find things that you feel that resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? This may not be for you. You may not be able to stomach this. You may not have the mental strength for this. It's not your fault. We've been brought up to be baby. We've been brought up to not handle tough things. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. So it was very interesting. So this is what broke. This is Attacking Third. You can go subscribe to them if you want. I subscribe to them because I like to sometimes see where their head's at. And so these are two people, Sarah and Lisa. As you can see the title, NWSL North Carolina Courage head coach Paul Riley accused of sexual misconduct, Attacking Third. And I wanted to know what they were going to say about this. Because it says former NWSL player. Okay, yeah. Paul Riley. So it stems back to 2010. I was like, God damn, bro. Like, fuck. Like, you sick bitch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I thought this was very interesting because they're like sponsored by CBS. Remember, you have to be careful with these outlets. You know what I'm saying? Because look, a soccer podcast from CBS Sports covering NSL. You have to be careful with these outlets because they have certain narratives that they'll push out. just with all of the ones that have the blue check marks, you have to be really careful, because just because they look like me, just because they do the same things that I'm doing, and this is the first time I've seen, just because they may look like me and may not look like me, but put out certain narratives that I may put out, that don't mean they, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust none of these people. I don't know these people. I don't trust them. So that's why I'm going to listen to what they had to say and see how they're kind of pushing this. Because you have to think for yourself, period. You can't be trusting everybody you see on the internet. And if you do, you sleep. You know what I'm saying? If you trust everyone you see on the internet, you got a problem. You should trust yourself first. Always trust yourself. Right? Always. That's just important. All right. So we're going to listen to what they had to say.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Attacking Third, a CBS Sports soccer podcast. I'm Anita, CBS Sports lead NWSL writer, joined today by my colleague and co-host Lisa Roman.
And like I said, CBS Sports All Seeing Eye CBS Sports has the logo of the All Seeing Eye. Remember that, okay? And Paul Riley has the 119 in his name, the gematria, and All Seeing Eye equals to 119 in the same simple English gematria with Paul Riley. And so CBS Sports, here it is. Remember, everything is, it's just like, I'm like, what the fuck? When I seen this, I was like, I knew something was up. But let me see what they say.
WSL analyst and broadcaster here today with another breaking news edition episode for Attacking Third. We are here today to discuss recent breaking news surrounding current head coach Paul Riley of the North Carolina Courage and reports coming out of The Athletic. We will get into all of those details with you, our listeners, today. Quick reminder before we head on into this very deep dive, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, anywhere you listen to your shows. We're also available.
All right, I won't be stopping and starting this video. Okay? She said deep dive. Oh, come on now. Remember, if anything represented by these big corporations, they're not getting deep. They can't. Okay? They can't get deep with you. All right? They can't get deep with you. All right? They can't tell you. We're going to see what they tell us. But I'm going to go on Twitter as well, and we're going to read some of the things. But they can't get deep with us. They don't tell us about the shadow government, gematria. You know, they can't. And maybe they're not aware of it either. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing their jobs the best way they feel. But they work for one of the big tech corporations, one of the biggest TV corporations, CBS, with the All Seeing Eye. You know what I'm saying? So they're controlled. They've been here to be presented as people that are here with us. And so you still, just like people I still question Lori and Jeff on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? I still question them too. Just because they kind of say things I might say, you know what I mean? I don't trust y'all. I don't trust y'all.
This video on youtube.com/attacking3rd. So go ahead, find us, leave us a rating and review, subscribe so you do not miss any further details surrounding the upcoming news that we're going to be discussing. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I am shocked and devastated and heartbroken and disgusted, but I'm glad to be here with you to kind of talk this through and discuss all the news that has happened today. How are you?
And just another thing when it comes to gematria, Sandra's 35 in the background. Catholic equals 35. And so, like I said, the gematria, and it just shows you who it all ties to, back to the Catholic Church, back to, we're just going to call them the shadow government because they're just the forces that are under the control of this realm at the current moment. Saturn, Satan, you know what I'm saying? And that the symbolism, I'll be looking in their background, you know what I'm saying? I got my astrology wheel in the background. I got me a couple, Houston Dash posters, but the 35, I was like, why of all things? Why the 35? I'm like, come on now, it's there to see. It's plain and simple.
I'm going to have to say ditto on all those fronts. Feeling a lot of different things right now. But we have got jobs that we have to do, and we're going to start this episode by just sort of going through some details of this current report in case you are coming to us first as your main source of news. Just going to let you know.
Nah. They weren't my main source of news. I had to look through the gematria first. So remember, you gotta be questioning these people. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Question these people. They're like, you gotta look at them like news anchors. Just because they're on YouTube, but they don't actually have they kind of have, not what I have too, they got a mic. Just because they don't have the appearance, they're gonna try to come off like you. We are not the same, fam.
The main bullet points here. Reporting out of The Athletic via Meg Linehan, talking about a very long saga with head coach Paul Riley. Two former NWSL players, and Sinead Farley and Menachem, have gone on record to discuss their past experiences and trauma with the current North Carolina head coach. A number of sources were spoken to in regards to this very long and compelling and detailed reporting. That also includes sources who were unnamed, but that also includes somebody like Alex Morgan, who was with the Portland Thorns organization in 2013, 14, and 15, during the era in which Paul Riley was the head coach of the Thorns. Gone on record to help confirm some of the experiences of these players. And within the actual...
And so, and this is why in 2010, and then when I think, it's not I feel like it's not a coincidence that Alex Morgan has gematria as well, but we always ask why did it take so long? Why does it take so long for people to speak out? And I see it in the TV shows. They're like, why did you take so long? And some did. Some said something. And they just got tired. They get harassed, right? Some of them get killed, fuck around, get killed. Some get harassed by the depending on who the person is, the high profile person is. Some of them get harassed and, hey, you need to be quiet. No one's gonna believe you. And they get it's called gang stalking. They'll gang stalk you. They'll send different people to fuck up your life, to like break you mentally, but really try to break you spiritually. But you have to be so strong, and you need to hopefully have a good supporting system. Hopefully have people that believe you. And but why does it take so long? Why does it take so long for people to say something? And this is my thing. You need to say something. And it's so fucked up because then you go to the police, right? We go to the police. We see it in the TV shows. They go to the police and you're like, hey, I've been raped. I've been sexually assaulted by such and such. They're like, oh, no, I don't believe it. No. And then the police got it right. The police are like, no, she lied, fabricated. And then they'll hide the DNA evidence. Like, it's the shit that the devil goes through to prove himself innocent is fucked up, right? So, but it's very interesting why now it's being presented, right after, in USA is going through a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? USA women are going through the court case. I don't know if they're trying to pull some more sympathy from us or something like that, or, like I said, there's a lot of sexual shit going on. Think about Epstein's fucking island. This isn't the first time. Okay? So just remember that. They always try to make it seem like, oh, the first time. No, get the fuck out of here. We see this shit too much. That's what's fucked up. We see this shit too much. That's what's fucked up.
Reporting itself, there were some statements from the league, from North Carolina Courage, and to some extent Paul Riley in regards to the reporting. But since the article has gone live, and at our time of this recording of Attacking Third episode, there has been no additional public-facing statement from neither the NWSL or the North Carolina Courage at this time. Simply put, within the details of this report, and we want to encourage everyone to go and read it if they are able and willing to do that. Some trigger warnings for people who need them. Within the details of this report, Paul Riley was essentially accused of sexual coercion, sexual misconduct. There are layers of homophobia in this story, and quite frankly, anti-lesbian rhetoric throughout it, and just general inappropriate behavior, excessive drinking with players, hosting player parties at private residence. So please support women's soccer coverage, and head on over to The Athletic. Subscribe if you would like to get further details. But Lisa, there's just
all right. So damn. So the players, hey, so especially in the TV shows that I watch, I was watching the Equalizer in I think it was the 8th episode. We see them. There's just so many. There's so many movies and TV shows that show us what goes on in this reality. The politician is seducing his campaign manager, whatever what you call it. Here, come drink with me. Come this way. And and then they start touching on them. They're a little tipsy. And don't tell nobody. Listen, we're having a successful career. We're winning championships. Don't get mad. You know what I'm saying? Don't get upset. You know what I'm saying? And we see how and then it's a cycle, right? Because they don't say nothing. They start to doubt, and then especially if it's them alone, if they're isolated, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes they in the TV shows, the victim, she falls in love with them. It's just like, oh, fucking crazy, the shit that they show us on TV, right? We see it, but we see it on TV. So why wouldn't you think this shit's probably happening in real life? But the excessive drinking with your players, having meetings behind closed doors. That's why we have to have complete transparency with each other. We have to have complete transparency with each other. We can't be lying to each other nowadays in this time. It's full honesty, full out, because it's important. It's so important to be honest with yourself, but to be honest with the people that look at your videos, that look at you, and not have certain narratives, and not try to push this way or that way. Just it's a thin line because we've been manipulated. You know what I'm saying? We've been manipulated. That's why I'm not saying I don't believe what she said, but it's just why you can't really trust what they tell you, because they fucking lie. We've been lied to. You know what I'm saying? And they're just more faces being puppeteered. You know what I mean? They're more in the Matrix than I am.
There's so much within this. It's I hate to compare it to something like an onion, but the layers within it are extensive, and a huge part of that is because of how far it goes back. The timeline within this is talking about going all the way back to 2010 with a player like Shanique Farley stepping back into a whole other league in the WPS, women's professional soccer, and then expanding into the trauma expands it to NWSL, and then with another player. So it's a tough, I would say tough day, but also much tougher week for the league.
It's very heartbreaking to read this piece, and Meg does a fantastic job of taking us into the players' experiences that went on record to talk about this, and the fact that it does go back to 2010 and spans across the WPS, WPSL, and now the NWSL is just so many things. It's devastating that this could be happening for so long, with so many people aware of what had been happening.
And the thing, yeah, that sucks. Like having it, that does suck. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, like this is a decade. How many people knew about this guy? All of them. Even the players that knew. 10 years, and now when I guess when they finally able to, I guess what happened was, I'm guessing what happened was he tried it with another player, and this player was like, nah, and they were like, fuck it, we might as well go ahead, and I remember what happened. Okay, so in the episode of The Equalizer, what happened was the politician, he actually assaulted the woman that he's helping win the mayor campaign, and before, but he assaulted the new girl. And so what happened was the new girl was trying to kill herself because she was being gang stalked. right? And so Queen Latifah, she plays the equalizer. So what happens is Queen Latifah, her dad calls Queen Latifah for her services. I think my daughter's going, something's wrong, something's happened. The daughter's in school, yada yada. And so Queen Latifah and her team, they go and investigate, and they realize, okay, so the campaign manager, he has a history of touching certain type of women, right? And so, oh girl, she's like, all right, how are we going to get through this? And so Queen Latifah tries to track down more women that have gone through the same experience with this man, right? So she tracks down two that are living. It's freaking hilarious. It's not hilarious, but it's ironic. She tracks down the two women that she finds that had spoke out, but then like took a deal, right? So what happens was, she said, the girl said, because they took the deal, it was like their story didn't taking the deal, meaning taking the money, that they pretty much legally were owned by him. Pretty much, you took the money, actually, so this never happened. No, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it happened, bitch. I just took the money, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But they told the girl that he recently assaulted, okay, go inside, go ahead, and they did their little gadget thingies. So what they were able to do, it was a key card. They had a key card. They made her go to the bathroom and swipe the key card so they can see. It was like a big corporate room. And so, they had the lawyers. Okay, we want this, sign this. We're gonna give you this much money to be quiet, And so when the girl, she went to the bathroom, had a key card, swiped it. So when they had the key card, they were able to log in to see who's all been in this certain bathroom in a certain location. You know what I'm saying? So come to find out, based upon their calculations and their CIA, FBI breaking the law type things, it was about 22 cases of women that have been in that certain location, that office area, that used that key card to go to the bathroom, right? So about 22 cases of women that have been assaulted by this man, right? Even the person that he was actually helping, the politician, right? The lady that he was trying to make mayor. And so what happened was, on TV, it's very interesting because they give you kind of keys to the street in the TV. She said, they made my life living hell. And then she was like, well, we're going to make his life living hell. So the mayor that he was working with, when they were on camera, she was like, actually, I have 22 cases of all these assaults, and you actually assaulted me. And they're like, is this true? And of course he denied it, but make his life hell on national television. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we ain't the judge, trial, and juror. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get his karma if he did it or he didn't do it. I'm thinking he did it. So he's going to get his karma. Whatever, he ain't going to be able to wash his hands clean. And we don't give nobody passes, especially when you have ritualistically done this to women. Nah, we don't give anybody passes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't do that. And so that's how they broke the case. That's how they did the case on this episode. But I mean, I'm not saying this is kind of how it happened, but it's very interesting. It could have went away kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Found former players that happened, that he did the same thing, and they ended up speaking out. And then you have other high profile people like Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe asked for repercussions. So, social media was, especially in the episode, they used social media a lot because she spoke out on social media, stuff like that.
And the players that were afraid to speak up or didn't know how to or tried to and were ultimately silenced, or the conversation was closed and ended with, okay, well, that's that. We'll move on from there. I think it's one of the most devastating and heartbreaking things that is really coming out of this. It's a tough article to read, and it's a tough story to dive into, but it needs to happen. Change needs to be made, and this is not the first domino to be falling in this type of situation. And this is the year that the NWSL put into place the anti-harassment policy.
Damn, why did it take so long? I thought those were basic fundamentals of a fucking service. You shouldn't touch people that don't want to be touched. They say don't make your money when you find your honey. Why are you even insinuating you can have relations with people, especially your boss? Or why are you even insinuating that you can have relations with people like that? Like, what is the purpose? What are your intentions? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in a higher authority figure to the other players. what are your intentions? Like, you're not gonna marry her. You ain't gonna. It's not like, I love my players, I'm gonna marry this one. No, you're trying to gain control. You're trying to do other things. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, as we say it. You know what I'm saying? Or what are your intentions? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we know all corporations are pretty much fucked up. You know what I mean? They're pretty fucked up. I've seen some pretty fucked up things in my jobs. I've worked at pretty much all the fast foods. You don't think some shit goes down there? Oh, trust me, shit goes down everywhere. This is what's been happening. This is how we're raised. You know what I'm saying? People, we got teachers fucking students, students fucking teachers. You got presidents fucking prostitutes. We got everything. Coaches fucking players. Look at Mark Sampson. Mark Sampson was fucking on his players. Everybody was fucking on. And then here's the worst thing: they do it to children, and that's where it draws the line. That's where I feel we need. Like, when is it gonna? I mean, yes, it sucks that they're adults, but damn, when are the children gonna be protected in this shit? Human trafficking, child sex trafficking. What the fuck? This is the wicked world we live in, and NWSL is just another page in this wicked world story chapter that we live in this current time in 2021.
And I don't know why there wasn't one before. There should have been, but now that it's in place, there are certain things that are coming to light and being uncovered, and that the players mainly are calling for change, and that is powerful. I think that the players' voices is so powerful, and reactions to.
And a message to the players: you've always had the power, your voice. And just message to us as people: we've always had the power, our voice. It doesn't help when you have a voice by yourself, but if you stand firm in your voice, people are going to come around or shut the fuck up and realize you were speaking real shit. You were speaking the truth. And you know that you were speaking the truth because you know it in your heart. You know you weren't trying to do anything bad. You know you were speaking truth. And that's something that stands forever. The truth stands forever. Lies crumble eventually. Lies diminish. But the truth will stand. And that we have our sword of truth. And when you don't have your sword of truth, you're susceptible to be manipulated, to be lied to. And so the players, you are players. You allowed this to go on? If you are aware about this, players, what were you not thinking about the future generations? And that's something we have to remember. We can't, it's yes, we want to help ourselves too. We want to make sure we're okay, but also be an example. Have that courage. Have that strength to stand for what you know is right. But don't get manipulated by these forces, by these evil frequencies. Don't get manipulated by the cash, because we ain't taking none of this shit with us. None of this shit. I know you want heaven on earth. It's here. But you know what I'm saying? Heaven on earth is here. It's probable. It's in your mind. But when you're holding such traumatic and such fucked up, gruesome experiences, maybe not your experiences, but you've heard somebody else's experience and you're holding that shit, I mean, you got to live with that shit. I mean, until you get a new body. But you know what I'm saying? But the players, you have a responsibility for yourself, especially if you're in a team environment. You have a major responsibility. So, unfortunately, I mean, we have to use this as another example, just like the USA Women's National Team. We have to use this as an example on what to do and what not to do. NWSL is going to look at their protocols and who they have in these positions that allow this type of behavior to continue, and then look at it as collective. We see who our quote unquote our president and his children are. His child is a coke addict and he's a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? And so look at the fuck, especially in America. Oh fucking A, look at the people that are in power in our reality. And you don't think it trickles down to NWSL? Fucking A.
This article that have come out and players' voices and all of that is incredible, but change needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely feels like a very transitional moment in time right now for the league. Maybe not in the way that people expected compared to this time in 2020, as opposed to now 2021. But perhaps let's put in perspective a little bit how this sort of fits into a week like this, coming off of a very long, tumultuous couple of months for another specific organization in Washington Spirit, and then for the league to just recently this week announce the conclusion of those investigations, and even within those announcements, further detailing consequences that were handed out, which was an official termination to former head coach Richie Burke, and a deadline and a ban to the Washington Spirit on league governance, and just sort of seeing that and seeing the league provide that public-facing statement, the announcement of the consequences, and to sort of have that and say, these are things that should have happened, and they did, and now here's what we are issuing to the appropriate parties. And it looked like for a second there that, yes, this is the anti-harassment policy at work, and this is what it can provide. And then here comes this story, and then it sort of is like a 1-2 punch, where it's like, just for lack of a better metaphor, it's like one of those like Weeble, like flailing arm men, like inflatable tube arm men. It's like you're blowing one way and then you're like blowing the other. But either way, there's kind of flailing going on. I'm just sort of scrambling right now as we're, recording this as this broke. We are also reacting to it ourselves as human beings who cover this league. But it just sort of is like going one way and the other, to sort of have this coming out. And then it's about a coach who is currently a head coach of a club at this moment, a different club altogether, after sort of having these last 2 months that we've had with Washington Spirit. It just sort of, for lack of a better word, feels exhaustive.
And it's not a coincidence that Washington Spirit and North Carolina courage and spirit, you know what I'm saying? These are these forces that work in the spiritual realm to deceive us as the people, right? To take our power, to break our spirits, pretty much. They break our spirits. That's the whole agenda, to break you down, to make you acquiesce, to make you not say things. This is the whole point. So you have to build that courage, build that strength within self first, to be able to live in this world that is wicked, full of people that, that are wicked. You probably would never do this. I wouldn't do this. But in this wicked world, this is in a quote unquote okay to do. You know what I'm saying? Until us, the people, have the courage to actually say something and be like, listen, this is a systematic collective thing. We have to be aware of the collective. Like, the collective is every 7 billion people on the fucking planet at the current moment. And in every country, you would say in every city, there's this type shit going on. And why is it? Because we have allowed it. It'd be different if every person that was accused of sexual misconduct was burned at the stake, was killed on sight, was murdered, was decapitated. But people don't want to talk like that because you're too sensitive. These people deserve death. It'd be different if we were killing these people on spot. We saw George Floyd get kneeled on. Why can't, I'm not saying Paul Riley should get kneeled on, but we see how the matrix, we see how the forces, they do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And it's because there's a lot more good people than bad people, but it's when the good people don't do nothing. This is how we get here. So all is collectively, because Saturn's in Aquarius is the collective. We're getting karma for whatever collectives that we associate ourselves with. And so I associate myself with NWSL because I bring y'all NWSL content. I bring y'all football stuff. So that's also on me, for me to bring you my opinions and my thoughts on the things that are being presented to me in NWSL like it's being presented to them. But I don't have CBS Sports behind me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a massive audience like that. You know what I'm saying? I got the people that are meant to come to me, the people that are in my space and area. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone is meant to hear what I have to say. So not everyone is just equipped or adept to this. But this is what's happening as Saturn's in Aquarius, and this is the astrology, and it's even deeper when it comes to your individual lives, but as a collective, as the people that walk the planet Earth, we have a job to do. And sexual misconduct, any type of you said no and you still were harassed, and you said no, and just because you said yes the first time, and then you were like, okay, I changed my mind, said no, any of that type shit, you need to have it's death. I'm sorry, but we don't know when that will come. It may not, it might, because like we may not come back. But if people started dying more for on this fuck shit, it'd be a lot of different. The world would be a lot different if people were killed for abusing people sexually and abusing children sexually. We would live in a different world, but we don't live in that world right now. We live in a world where people, can get away with this stuff.
In all facets, whether it's mental, emotional, or otherwise. I cannot imagine the type of level of exhaustion that the players feel, whether it's current, past, present, former, future, whatever you want to call it. It's tough for us to come on here and actually talk about it a bit. Lisa, we struggled a little bit with how we would be here for both each other and our listeners. Quite frankly, we want to do our due diligence and be able to keep audiences informed, but also understand that there's a big level of emotion and layers that come with this. So it is. I agree with you 100%, Lisa. It was a heartbreaking read, but it is a very necessary read, and it's very important reporting that was done here by Megan. It is out there now, and a lot of what we're seeing now that this has gone live is, despite there not at this current moment in time being a public facing statement from the league or North Carolina Courage, what we are seeing is reaction from the players.
Mm-hmm. Before we dive into the reactions that are happening,
and the players are the first ones that need to react. It is, in a way, their job, because just because it wasn't you or your best friend doesn't mean it could be your future children down the line, if you have children. And so it is their duty to say something as athletes. It is your duty. It is your duty. I don't give you a pass. And here's the thing. If y'all all come together and say something, it'd be so much beneficial. It'd be so much better. Instead of it being certain faces, instead of y'all it being individual, it would be collective. Listen, this is us as a whole. Everyone has a Twitter. I don't know if they run their Twitter or not run their Twitter. Everyone be like, listen, it's a team fight. It's a team effort. It'd be so much better if everyone that had a Twitter that played for certain teams, and all the teams, they had said something, because that's your duty and that's your job. We see it with some, not everyone, but that's the power of unity. That's the power of singing the same symphony. That's the power that we have when we use our voices, and not afraid to speak out for what we feel that is right and that we know that is right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving them a round of applause for saying anything. It is your duty. It is your duty to say something. It is your duty. I haven't read the article. Okay? I haven't read the article. I would not like to know the deep details that Paul Riley was doing to these players. Okay? I would not like to know that. No, thank you. I don't want that in my psyche. Okay? But this is not the first time we've heard about stuff like this. Okay? This is not the first time. And it won't be the last time. Until these people start getting killed, really. Gotta eradicate. And that's what the shadow government, they present things to us, but especially depending on how you think, we have to, this is something that they have allowed to go on, these forces. But we have, as a collective, to eradicate the even thought. You have to not even have that thought of thinking that. Why do you have those thoughts of thinking that you could do this to somebody? Why do you have that thought? Where did this thought come from? That ain't is that like, who has thoughts like that? You know what I'm saying? Who has thought? Now, Paul Riley could have been sexually harassed, sexually molested when he's growing up. That's why he has those thoughts. We don't know. It could stem from a lineage, and it's a spiritual shit. It's spiritual because it continues on. We see it, incest in the families. He could have been molested. He could have been sexually abused. Paul Riley. Don't making no excuses. It's somebody, whoever was taking care of him, they should have died too. You know what I'm saying? And this is how the system continues, because it's a spiritual disease. How do you have these sick thoughts? You're sick, bro. You're sick. You know, everyone, Mindy, Ronaldo, y'all are sick in the mind. If you're guilty or innocent, only time will tell. You'll get your karma. I can't be the judge of that. But if you're sick in the mind. You're sick in the mind. They put on good faces. They put on good smiles, but y'all sick in the mind. You're sick in the mind. You got a spiritual disease on you. Real shit.
Live as we're recording this and throughout this Thursday morning. One thing that I think is so important in the timeline of this story is that now that the news is out there and the news is fully public information, what has happened, reporting back to 2010, that in 2015, during Paul Riley's head coaching stint at the Portland Thorns, he was brought into an investigation by Mana Shim. And that was when Alex Morgan was brought into this as a friend and a confidant to Shim to say, how do I handle this? And what do I do? And Shim, with the help of Alex Morgan, who is a name that 99% of the people know in this league and in this soccer community, is probably the biggest name attached to this story. She was involved in this, in helping bring light to the situation that was Paul Riley and all of his actions with the Portland Thorns. They went to the HR director at the Thorns. They went to the owner at the Thorns.
They had to try and find the HR director. That was a part of the story to see. Yeah,
a huge part of the story. It wasn't written there in black and white. Hey, this is your HR contact that you can reach out to. They were trying to do it anonymously because of all the repercussions that a coach like Riley unfortunately has in this type of environment in soccer, in the soccer hierarchy of the world. He is a person that pulls a lot of strings and has been in a lot of places and has a lot of respect of other coaches and other organizations and leagues ahead of
Okay, let me
this news that is being broken. So players didn't want to come forward, which we see so frequently, which is another heartbreaking aspect of this, that players don't want to be vulnerable themselves for fear of repercussions of reporting something like this. So with the help of Alex Morgan, Shim, after finding the HR director, was able to try to report this. And that's when players said, why are we not protected? Why, when we look at the handbook, does it protect the league and the teams and the clubs, but the individual employees are not protected? This was in 2015.
All right. So, this is just her take. I haven't read the article, but was Alex Morgan popping in 2015? So you telling me, so she's telling, the way they're presenting it to us, they're telling us that Alex Morgan didn't have enough reach or didn't have enough influence to actually speak out and say, actually, Paul Riley did this. And she was the player of that team. I don't know I think was Portland very successful during that time? I don't remember. But you trying to tell me Alex Morgan didn't have enough reach, didn't have enough followers, didn't have enough people to, because that's the power of the social media, the people that have a lot of followers. You can say something, and then especially if they're robotic, they're, you know what I'm saying? They get to tweeting, they get to talking. But if you have conscious people that can think for themselves, that actually can think for yourself, period, and actually can react to this responsibly, that'd be different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, did she not have enough reach? And I'm curious, did Shin not want Alex to go public with it? And then she was presenting to us that their job was protecting their players. The job was individual was protecting the club, the league, but not the individual players. It is our jobs to protect ourselves. If our government, quote unquote, indoctrinated us, what everything that has been created is to protect them, not us as individuals. Like COVID-19, that shit, everything that they're doing is to protect them. That's why you can't sue these niggas. You can't sue these niggas to protect them, not us, but everyone here. Oh, we need to take this to protect ourselves. What? It's the same story. It's the same script with different stories, but we have people that actually got hurt. We have victims, just like we have all victims in every case scenario. You know what I'm saying? And then, it's highlighting Alex Morgan again, because we were just talking about Alex Morgan, because she's the face of a lot of things. So they're using Alex Morgan as a face again. And she has gematria behind her too. But remember, these are, I'm not trying to say that Alex didn't have enough reach. No pressure on her. But, I mean, you knew, fam. Like, you knew your best friend, Shem. You knew. Come on now. Like, that's what's fucked up. If I was Alex Morgan's friend, I'd be like, bro, like, what the fuck? You wasn't really down like you said you was down. You wasn't down like you said. I told you this. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all couldn't. It's like, did y'all not continue? You have to fight this for. It's a spiritual fight. This is a spiritual battle. It's spiritual warfare. You think just because okay, now you play for a different team, he's not going to continue to do the same things? Did you warn the girls about Paul Riley? Did you warn them? Did you at least warn them? Did you warn them? And Shem too. Did you warn the girls? Listen, actually, we don't. You should really go to that team. He touches people. Did y'all warn the girls? Did y'all? We don't know. I don't know. I hope they did. I don't know about the HR stuff. Look, I don't know. But did y'all warn each other? Because if y'all warned each other, y'all should have came together collectively. We should just all say something together. And what he gonna do? It's you against the players. It's him against the players. Huh? Was y'all not thinking like that? But now it's different because the zodiac signs are in a different space. We're in a different environment. We're thinking differently. We're in the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing. It's different now. But we're looking back in the past like, come on now. How you also helped everyone? I said players too are responsible too. Y'all knew about this guy. You can't be afraid any longer. There's nothing to be afraid of. Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck them. Who the fuck are they? Who the fuck is Paul Riley? I don't know these niggas. Fuck them. Like I said, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. Just like Mendy. Fuck Mendy. Fuck Ronaldo. Fuck these niggas. If they're being accused of doing these things and they walking away free. Fuck them. They're gonna get what's coming to them. All the agencies, all the people that hid behind and actually shook hands and let these people get away with it. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you showed to me in a battle when I needed your back, you was going to be quiet. You was just going to hush. You wasn't going to say nothing because you didn't have that spiritual strength. You didn't have the courage. You didn't have that fighting spirit to do what was right. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you on my team. You could snake me. You could see me get decapitated and not say anything. You could see me go through something and not even warn the people that come after me. Goodness gracious. Everyone's in a way at fault that allowed Riley to continue this conduct.
It took until
for 10 years. The fuck? That's crazy, bro.
2020 for an anti-harassment policy to be put.
Yeah, 2021.
Excuse me, yes. So that's something that is just ridiculous that these women and these players have been screaming with hands over their mouths to call for change, to push change on this, to show evidence to people in higher positions to say, why are you not fixing this? Can you fix this? Can you help?
But they didn't show us. They didn't go on Twitter. They didn't. It's 2015. I wasn't really into football like that, but they didn't come to us. Fuck them motherfuckers. You see what they did? They should have known immediately when the higher ups didn't do shit. You should come to the people that are considered below you, the people, us. And look at us. Look at me. I'm telling y'all. Listen, y'all should have said, hey, look what's going on, y'all. We need y'all's help. Y'all should have called us. Y'all should have been like, we need our supporters, man. We need the people that watch us. Y'all should have called us. Fuck them higher up people. They don't give a fuck about you, as you could tell. You should have came to us, but oh no, you're better than us, huh? No. You should have came to the people that supported you. These motherfuckers don't give no fucks. You should have came to us, the people, us, people like Anita flying high. Hey, I got you back, and I'm gonna do the gematria too, and I'm gonna see what's going on too. Now we here. Now we in present day time, 2021. And look, now everything's being presented to the internet. We all on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, speaking our minds. I got some spirit gematria behind it. We all attacking one entity, and which is the forces that allow these things to go on. And then we're going to be, it's not attacking each other, but it's just like, all right, all you niggas that knew, nigga, what the fuck? I'm be looking at you sideways like, look. And it's just like this. If they allowed this to go on, what other shit did y'all allow to go on? And I bet you, hopefully there's nothing worse than this, but fuck, man. Look at Richie Burke. Like, bro, I don't know how long he was a manager for, but how long he been bullying bitches? How long has he been bullying people? How long he's been bullying people? How long he been saying things that is not nice? How long? Huh? Y'all could have nipped it in the bud. He came to us. Actually, our coach bullies us. You know what our coach said to us after this game? We would have been like, damn, my coach ain't never said that to me after my game. That's a fucked up coach. He don't deserve to be in that position. We would have said some shit like that. But y'all didn't come to us. Y'all came to the higher ups. You wanted to keep it hush-hush because you didn't want to make yourself look like, I don't know, to the public. That's the mind control that they have of them in when it comes to being a quote-unquote celebrity athlete, that y'all don't go through shit too. Come speak to us. Speak y'all's fucking mind. Like, real shit. Y'all need to start speaking y'all's mind, because that's the real you. Speak your fucking mind, because then when you speak your mind, motherfuckers want to stay with you or they can fucking leave. You don't give a fuck because you spoke your mind. But when y'all like all try to be all holy, innocent, nah, you fake.
Help me. It's been pleas for help. And until now, it's all been
on deaf ears.
And it's been silenced. Even the investigation that happened with Paul Riley at the Portland Thorns in 2015, when he was terminated from that position, which at the time was perceived to be due to a poor season, not a winning season. They didn't make the playoffs. They didn't have a great season. So for fans and bystanders and people on the outside looking in, it just looked like, okay, the coach has been fired. He's been there for 3 years and they didn't win. Like, makes sense, moved on. Turns out that there was an investigation that happened within the Portland Thorns due to all of these accusations on Paul Riley. And that was it. According to the Thorns, they told the league, the NWSL, about the investigation and what had happened. Yet months later, he is hired again by the Flash, the New York Flash, another team in the NWSL. So that is something that is baffling to me, that you can have evidence apparently reported to you and turn a blind eye and say, well, we're going to hire him anyway.
That's the fucking Matrix. And when not enough people come together, that's the Matrix. And whoever gets, like I said, in the National Women's Soccer League, whoever's in those positions, they're gonna get their karma too. Especially if they were presented with this information about Paul Riley and they didn't do anything about it, they're just like, we don't give a fuck. They gonna get their karma. Maybe not in this lifetime, but in other lifetimes. Oh yeah, you gonna get your karma. Your blood is not clean. Your hands is not clean of that blood. You know what I'm saying? Because you allowed him to continue to coach, every player that he quote unquote touched or didn't touch, you gonna have that karma on you. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know their names, but it's not just Paul Riley. He not innocent. He's just happened to be the culprit doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? He just happened to get his hand caught in the cookie jar, being exposed. But everyone else, I don't even know what's worse: the person that's doing it or the person that doesn't speak out when they know they're doing it. I think it's pretty fucked up when you think about it, right? It's pretty fucked up. They're both at fault. But is the person that actually knew about it more at fault than the person that's actually doing it? Makes you think. But yeah, like if these people that control the people that control the sports, like Man City, for example, like the people that handle them, like when it comes to like public statements in the game, stuff like that. Those are people too. It's like probably a collective group that does it, and probably one person that does live and stuff like that. But we don't know their names. I don't know these people's names. They're hidden. You know what I'm saying? That shit needs to stop. I need to know who the fuck you are, because I need to know what state of mind you're in when you're presenting some of this shit to us. Because it's like, who are you? Why didn't you? If you knew Portland Thorns did Twitter, Instagram, Facebook channel, if y'all knew this was going on, why didn't y'all just say it to the public? Huh? When we couldn't handle it? I think what happened in 2015. If 9/11 happened, goodness gracious, you know what I'm saying? Don't act. They be trying to make us see. And I think this is it. This is like this desensitize to desensitize us, not to desensitize, to make us more sensitive. That's why people are so offended by these fucking these words that they try to label you with. Like that's why people are so sensitive. Have some strength. You know what I'm saying? You're none of these words that they give you in this matrix. You know what I'm saying? You're none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that is the systematic, that is the matrix, to desensitize, to make you vulnerable, so you just be weak. I used to be weak back then. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not weak. You know what I mean? I've been able to build my strength, my inner strength within self. So I used to be weak back then, so you probably wouldn't catch me doing some stuff like this. But now that I'm strong, here I am. You know what I'm saying? But it was all systematically, because, you know, that's how they keep us under control. That's how they keep us under control. They fear people that have that fear. They fear people that speak for themselves. They fear us. I'm saying you have to be the change you wish to see. They fear that shit. They fear us. That's why they try to keep us in fear, because they fear us. When we're not in fear and we're actually in a love frequency, and we're in a knowing frequency, they fear that shit. Because then we can be a reflection to other people, knowing like, listen, you can do this shit too. You have to do this shit too, especially for things that you believe in and that you stand for and that you have faith in. You have to have it, because you're going to be looking at opposition. You're going to be looking at people. And it's going to be a lot of people. A lot. Trust me. It's a lot. 7 billion? Man, shit. It's a lot of people that be looking at you like, no, you crazy, fam. I would never do that shit. Okay, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Me don't have, and people won't get you. It might be a lonely path, but you know what? At least you know you're connected with Source. You're connected, and the things that you have faith in, you believe in, you know, that's got your back before, sadly, some human beings. You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
Yeah. No, that's where you look at these points in a report like this, and it's additional evidence to the fact that this is a systematic problem.
Yeah, a systematic problem. It's a collective problem. In this solar system that we live in, Saturn, Satan, this is the system. Sexual misconduct, sexual deviances, I'm gonna take from you. I'm gonna take your everything. I'm gonna strip you. You know what I'm saying? This is the collective, what Saturn does. And Saturn is asking us and challenging us. Are you going to stand? Are you going to have the strength? We're going to build you up through all the fuck shit. We're going to build you up. It's a system under Saturn, under Satan, under the devil, under Jehovah, in this solar system that we live in currently. All right? And there's a flip side to it too. There's good things, longevity, structure, discipline, because once you become more disciplined, you start to do more disciplined things. There's a pro. The Saturn has good things and bad things. Okay, But we have to look at all the bad shit first before we get to the good shit, because there's a whole bunch of fuck shit that we have to go through first. Okay, it can't be all rainbows and peaches, because this is not the world we live in. We live in a world with duality, and that's what people get it fucked up. You think it's not the other side of the coin. You think it's just holy, holy, holy. No, this is a wicked, wicked, wicked world, and we live in under Saturn, and he's wicked. Wicked motherfucker. This is a wicked motherfucker. Wicked. And he gets away with it. A lot of it.
There is not really a lot of leeway in when you're reading this story to just point one finger in one direction. There's a big...
I agree with that. You can't just point one finger. There's a lot of people involved. It's like I think it's a ring. It's a systematic ring. There's higher ups and lower ups, and you just think about it, like, especially if these there's like youth academies underneath Portland Thorns. Think about the little girls, like, and the little boys, because it's not just with girls, it's with boys too.
Very large picture that is painted, and that is that the problem has A, been ongoing, and B, that it is systematic. That there is currently, the way things are ran right now.
Right, and this is our reality at the current moment. The way things have been ran, this shit is allowed. Until the people say something, listen, until we know about it. But if people don't even acknowledge it, oh, fucking A, you just don't acknowledge the truth. Get the fuck out of here.
Is how somebody like Paul Riley continued to be able to pursue coaching positions in this league. And while we're getting into the reaction side of things now, this is a coach that went to, at the time, the Western New York Flash, won a championship, and then relocated to North Carolina as the team was relocated and rebranded as the North Carolina Courage, and continued to have success on the pitch.
And remember, because the reason why he had success is because the rituals that he was performing with these players, he was being able to succeed because he was as being used as a vessel to perform certain acts. Therefore, he was rewarded with success in the Matrix. But behind scenes, he's the devil.
And I think that's an aspect of it that made players and people involved so frustrated, that he had such ability to win and have success in what he was doing, looking from the outside in. His hierarchy, that's what sources said and quote.
Right. The people he was working with, they was like, all right, yeah, you doing the good rituals. You're doing the rituals right. Thank you. So we're gonna reward you. This is what the entertainers do. It's like they sell their soul. Paul Riley probably sold his soul. Paul Riley probably has no soul. He probably sold his soul for fame, for success. You know what I'm saying? It's not just rappers and other people. It's Paul Riley, niggas like Paul Riley too. And you sold your soul for this. You sold your soul for this. What do they offer you, huh? It's something spiritual. You think you're gonna wash your hands clean, Paul Riley? You think you're gonna wash your hands clean, Paul Riley? You think you're gonna wash your hands clean? Oh no. You in a new time. New spirits is here. Paul Riley's hands are not gonna be clean. So every time he go to sleep, he's gonna have so much guilt on him because his hands are not clean. And because we're in the correct mentality to know, listen, you ain't gonna wash your hands clean. For the rest of your life, homie, we're gonna look at you like what you are. The devil, pretty much. The devil has many minions. There's a lot of Paul Rileys, like Jeffrey Epstein, like Harvey Weinstein, like these criminals that do this shit ritualistically. Okay? There's many devils. Many in this wicked world. You have to be able to identify them. Be able to identify these people. You know what I'm saying?
Quoted in the article, it's called his hierarchy of players and teams and people that it was so hard to crumble and break down.
And that's what also makes you wonder how you got to peep game. So it's like, yeah, in front of my face, you're a good player, but damn, what have you kept hush hush about? You know what I'm saying? It makes me really question a lot of things about Alex Morgan.
Voices were silenced due to he could win on the field, so that's what made it okay. No,
exactly. Unfortunately, on this side of the game, for whatever reason, we hear a lot of times in soccer in general how you got to have short memories.
Mhm.
We hear that a lot, especially when it comes to actual on the pitch type of things. But for whatever reason, the systems in place almost sort of look and feel like they have an equally short memory when it comes to these types of things. And the narrative or concept that winning solves everything, it cures everything, is not helpful. In fact, it's ugly. And it adds an even uglier layer to this type of story. That behind all of these shiny trophies and shiny things are trauma.
yeah.
And it's very, very, very sad.
A quote from the article by an anonymous player who played for Riley in Portland said, quote, "He has the authority. People don't really push him on it. Everyone accepts that's just how he is. You're trying to survive in his hierarchy." If that's not a quote that sums up how corrupt this situation is, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and there's always going to be those arguments so that maybe there will be players who didn't have it quote unquote so bad, right? And players that will be pointed to is like, look at the success that they found under this particular approach. That also doesn't make any of this okay. That also does not make any of this okay. I just gotta like say it twice. Yeah. And it is not healthy to have that type of thought process in this type of reporting.
Yeah, it's not healthy to have that thought process that Paul Riley exudes ever in this reality that has to be exterminated. You know what I'm saying? All the people that think like Paul Riley and his higher ups, all them niggas need to go. And that's what's happening. We are taking back our power. Even the athletes, even the celebrities, Nicki Minaj, even these people, they may be manipulated based upon the things that they can't say is too much because they might get, you know what I'm saying? They may end up dead. But do your best to give us some fucking gems. Do your best to tell us what's going on behind the scenes so we can use our voices and say what we want to say about them, because I'm not going to get offed. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get off faster than I'll get off. You know what I'm saying? But drop some hints for us. You know what I'm saying? Drop some hints. Do something, because we trying to help you too. We want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to be safe too. Drop some hints to us. But when y'all don't, how can we help you if you don't tell us what's going on? Huh? We don't tell us what's going on behind the scenes. How are you supposed to know? How are we supposed to know? Y'all don't talk to us. What's going on with these devils? You know what I'm saying? We here to help you. Teamwork made the drink work. We here to help. You got cavalry. You got people that love you. I don't even know some of these players, but I'm a voice of reason. I don't even have children, but I'm a voice for the children. I'm a voice for the people. We will help you. We in this together. You know what I'm saying? And so, players need to realize that. Everyone needs to realize that. We got people out here to help. All right, people want to help. We want to help each other because we want a better world for the future, and we want a better world for us. Just period. But yeah, that thought process, the way you think, that type of thinking that Paul Riley exudes. This is how wicked it is. I'm protected by the people that I work with because it's just how it is, and you can't say shit about it. What you gonna do about it? You can't do anything about it. I'm gonna continue to do what I've been doing. You know why? Because I'm in charge. Nah. If it wasn't that time, the collective, maybe the people weren't ready. Everything happens for a reason. But we can't. I'm not gonna say
that winning solves everything or winning cures everything. In fact, sometimes trophies, medals, shiny accolades can sometimes bury a very shaky foundation even further. And it provides a platform to maybe the perpetrators instead of actual victims.
Yeah, especially if people don't know like that sports is rigged. Especially if people don't know that sports is rigged. Oh yeah, if you're outside looking in, you're gonna look at, oh no, that shit would never happen. You know what I'm saying? If you're outside looking in, and especially now in 2021, if you're still outside looking in, like this shit doesn't go on behind the scenes, unsuccessful. I feel like, I'm not saying the more successful, the more shady, but it could be like that. They both start with the S. You know what I'm saying?
So it's very heavy. Everything that has been coming out. Manishin, who goes on record with that, actually alludes to that. She felt she had to work very hard to finally get into favor.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the system that's in place, that's how it works. The system that's in place is that there's sometimes favoritism and all that type of stuff that comes into play. And that's at some point in her career under Paul Riley, Manishin finally felt accepted or embraced,
Claimed.
By
Harley and Shin say claimed. That's the term that they use.
And we're seeing a theme here. And we're seeing a theme. We're seeing a theme because when you dip into something with the Washington Spirit and the reporting that came out there, where somebody like Kyle McCullough went on record echoing similar sentiments, that there will always be players that these types of coaches show favor to. And then there will always be players who will be either singled out and they will make a choice, and that will either be to leave, exit the game, or they will somehow, some type of way, perhaps try to make a choice to continue pursuing being a professional athlete in an attempt to get into these coaches' good graces. So the hierarchy here is a big component of this. It's all of the systematic things that we have been talking about right now.
Sandra, you mentioned the term and how it doesn't seem right to compare it to an onion, but the layers of this reporting, of course, some of the most horrific claims and accusations being about the sexual coercion, but even the excessive drinking with players, taking them out to bars, having them at Paul Riley's own house for extended stays, an extended period of time to party, that's even alarming when you look at just that. And then even going a layer more towards the outside of something that's even farther away from sexual coercion is guilting players into not going to national team camps because he wants them to be with his squad and his club, and saying that it's a disappointment and that the players left Paul Riley and their teammates left them, and it wasn't fair to them when this player had an opportunity to go play for the national club, and guilting them into saying no, turning down invitations to potential World Cups in 2011, into national team camps. That's another aspect of this that is wrong, and that has nothing to do with sexual coercion or anything like that. That's bullying, and that's harassment on a very surface level that is almost overlooked in this article because there are so many more pressing matters that are being uncovered.
More of the devil's work. It's a mind fuck. The devil loves to mind fuck us. This is to fuck up your mind. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. You're getting fucked in this matrix if you don't think for yourself. You'll get manipulated. You get used. You get tossed this way. You get tossed this way. You have to be the controller of your own fucking reality. You have to know, okay, what do you want to do? How would you feel? Fuck everybody else. I always tell you, if someone makes your spirit feel weird, man, your spirit come first. You come first, because like I said, we only live in here for a temporary time to have a good time. You don't want to have this fuck shit going on in our reality. So you only here for a good time and it's sort of a bad time too, because of all the shit that we have to go through, our karma and past lives, and that's manifested here. But if someone makes your spirit feel weird, you have a choice to make as an individual. God is going to put you, it's a test. God was testing certain players. Some players weren't strong enough. Some players was like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Some players were strong enough and some players weren't. You know what I mean? Some players have the strength. It's in them. They got, nah, fuck, you ain't gonna do that to me, motherfucker, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I believe, people were saying, well, we don't know if Paul Riley did this. Nigga, he did it. I believe that he did it. I believe that nigga did it. Real shit. And, honestly, he should go to jail. Honestly, he should be killed. Honestly, I have no sympathy for people that think like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like, why do you even exist? You probably, if Paul Riley has kids, oh my goodness. The repercussions. If he has children, ain't no telling he probably do the same thing to his children. If he doing it to players. Oh, he wouldn't touch his children. These motherfuckers don't care. They're sick in the mind. They're wicked. You know what I'm saying? They're wicked. 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 And it's men and it's women. I don't even know if it's worse when it's a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, woman, you know that old boys doing this to other women? Oh, yeah, there was a show that I watched. It was called Tiny Pretty Things, or Little Tiny Pretty Little. What is it? It was like a ballerina school, right? And they had like the head lady in charge was called Madam, and it was a young not young children, but young boys and girls, but they're like over the age. It's like kind of like a college university is, but their whole thing was that they did they did dancing for a living, right? And that's a lot of some of the shows that we watch. They're perpetrated on these types of vibes and frequencies. But anyways, Madame, they had it where like investors wanted to rent out the ballerina girls to help serve drinks at these meetings. Older men, young girls, and boys, apparently if the boys got it, but mainly it was the women. And the girls, some of the girls got, fucking touched on, right? And Madame, the girls would go to Madame and she wouldn't say anything. And she, it was hidden. It's under hoots. Hey, they invest in the ballerina school. We can't say anything. And so what happened was the children in the group, they were like, fuck this shit. So they all together, they created they tried to, one of the girls, she went to a newspaper editor and told her what had happened. And then another thing, what happened was they ended up setting up one of the guys. They set him up. Okay, we're going to kind of reenact what he did, get him on camera. And they did. But old girl got really fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And he went in and tried to threaten her and shit like that, But they still got the video of this nigga doing it. So they presented to Madame. Oh, Madame, like, see, we can't present this you can't give this to the world because, we're an elite school and such and such, such and such. We can't do this. What happens, the same story we get. It's a system, right? The Matrix, right? And so what ended up happening was they did a video. All the people, right? They did the video. And I forgot what the fuck happened because it was just a 10 episode series. But I think oh boy, yeah, he ended up getting arrested. Yeah, he ended up getting arrested. Oh yeah, I remember the girl, and one of the girls that almost got raped. But one of the girls was talking to Madame, and she was telling her, she was like, "So you think it's necessary for a girl to get raped to have strength?" And she was like, just because you did it, just because it happened to you. And you know what I'm saying? And so that's sometimes the thought process of some of these players. Oh, because I got through it and it gave me strength. You can get through it too. That's the mind fucking, the devil's fucking their minds. And the devil does a lot of things to make you seem that this is okay to do. And they should suffer because you suffer. No, fuck that shit, motherfucker. Just because you suffer, nigga, I'm gonna be looking at you as an example. Like, I don't want that suffering. I'm gonna take my talent somewhere else. And sometimes football ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes God's like, don't do it. Don't participate. Don't do it. Sometimes you just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go through it because I want this. And you suffer the consequences when you fucking with the devil. You know what I'm
saying? It's laughable in terms of a defense mechanism that I'm putting on here, in that it's on brand for this particular coach. It's on brand. I'm not saying anything that's not brand new here. People can go to Paul Riley's Twitter and see for themselves that he's made comments about scheduling issues or players being absent due to international windows or national team games, et cetera, et cetera. And quite frankly, there has been sectors of the fandom that have defended that type of behavior, saying like, "Oh yes, like we agree."
That's why you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful with these people who you listen to on these platforms. You got to be careful. You can't trust everybody. You can't trust them. You can't trust everybody. Trust yourself first. Trust your instincts.
This is on brand. This is like, there are things that are addressed within this story that you can actually point at and say, well, that type of attitude actually is true. And here's some examples.
And even
we're completely fine this year. We're speaking now.
I mean, just touching on that, even going back to the Olympics, New Zealand head coach for the women's national team was upset that NWSL clubs, quote, refused to release Olympians. One of those being Paul Radley. I don't know what that means.
There's a
synchronicity.
There's a lot out there, for sure. In terms of, it's hard to gauge. In terms of what comes next, let's look at some of this reaction, because a lot of it, Lisa, all of it, quite frankly, is actually on the player side of things. Again, at the time of this recording, there hasn't been a public-facing statement from the Courage nor the league. But at the time this reporting went live via The Athletic, there was a direct statement from the National Women's Soccer League Players Association addressing the current reports. There was a pretty, I don't want to say damning, but it was definitely an assertive statement, and it's an important statement, because in the top of their statement, they immediately extended support to their fellow players. And it wasn't just Sinead Farrelly and Monishim. They included Kaya McCullough, and they included additional players who may have, gone as a source, whether it was on record or not. And it was a very good statement that also provided additional resources to.
All right, I think I'm done with this video. Now, I wanted to go on Twitter to see what players actually said something, because there's a lot of them. I've seen some things. But yeah, I mean, NWSL, it's your fucking job. Whoever's in these positions, it's your job. I have to play cleanup. It's your job to help to protect, you would say, the players. But we all know who they work for. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was the attacking third. You know what I'm saying? They're sponsored by CBS. Some of the narratives, you got to be careful. You got to be careful on how they present certain things to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful, because, just think for yourself. Think for yourself. So I'm going to go on Twitter. And, but yeah, that was their video. And I hope, like I said, check out the blog. Okay. All right. But let me see. Let me share Twitter. Yeah. Remember, I'm gonna share Twitter. Okay. Y'all got that? Okay, cool. All right, so this is Sandra. This is the girl we were just listening to. One of them. Meg, not too sure who Meg is, but Maya Shim, this guy has a pattern. Okay. Former player. She's one of the former players. So thank you. We appreciate you. I really don't care what North Carolina Courage have to say at the end of the day. But I wanted to see. Oh yeah, so Nadia Nadam had said. Let me see. What is this? Oh shit. Okay, so this is Nadia Nadam's testimony. She's back at NWSL after leaving Gotham. After leaving She said, when I signed for Sky Blue, I got told that we had to sign a 1+1 per league rules. Both me, but both me and my agent and my Danish club got confirmed that option would never be executed. My agent got a mail that confirmed it. I was told that I was free to sign anywhere. After that year, and after that year, oh yeah, after that year, in USA or anywhere else. After my contract was supposed to be finished, we started talks with Thorns FC. I wanted to sign there, and I was a free player. After we negotiated, NWSL reached out to my agent saying the rights belong to Sky Blue. Sky Blue presented evidence to the NWSL that they sent the execution of option year to my mail. One problem is that it was not sent to my mail. What the fuck? The email they presented was not mine, as they sent several to me. They had my correct one. Shady. It says they then showed a paper. Then they showed a signed paper where I had accepted/received the option extension. Only problem is that the signature, real, not electronic, was one, not mine, and two, dated when I was at the Algarve, Portugal, with the national team. Individual did not want Individual did not even want to listen to us. Thorns ended up sacrificed a lot to sign me. Oh, damn, they was doing Nadia the Dom dirty. And she says, but for those who want to know, Thorns ended up trading a lot for me, and I will always be grateful for that. But they should not have had to pay anything. But the act of Gotham FC and NWSL forced them. We asked NWSL for help. They basically told me to forget it. So Nadia and the Dom's narrative is, she's grateful for Portland under Paul Riley. Very interesting. Reporting more of the narrative on NWSL that they didn't want to help, stuff like that. So I'm not saying Nadia didn't happen to this, but there's some shady shit going on here. She didn't get the email. She did get the email, niggas. She didn't sign it. She didn't sign it. A lot of shady shit. All right, a lot of shady shit. So, thank you, Nadia, for sharing information. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I think it was. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me just go NWSL. Let me just get the latest. We're gonna drop down and see what's going on. But Grant pattern. There's a pattern here. NWSL several male head coaches with known priors somehow getting the chance to keep coaching in the league and keep doing damage. That is true. There's a pattern in the fucking world that we live in. It says Molly said, Reign CEO Bill Permone said he asked for Vincent's spontaneous resignation after the coach made comments regarding nutrition and fitness to players. The description is similar to behavior that Lindsey Horan had accused Vincent on before he was hired. Once again, these are the players. I guess the article was written by. It says Sophia Smith says she's a young player, Portland Thorns. She says, what's happening in this league is sickening. As a young player, it's a scary and intimidating feeling to never know who's looking out for you or who can be trusted. The bare minimum is being asked out of the league to protect its players. They can't even do that. She's the manager, and I think old girl, I think she had some gematria behind her too. So that was Sophia Smith. Yeah, I mean she's fairly fresh in the season. Goodness gracious! Now I'm just saying, NWSL, who wants to go to NWSL now? Fucking nobody. I wouldn't take my talents to NWSL. Yo, fuck no. After this got exposed, bitch, I'm taking my talents overseas. But we don't even know. I ain't no telling what goes on overseas. I bet some fuck shit goes over there too. But it hasn't been presented to us yet, and I haven't done any investigations and players. Oh yeah, I don't think any players have really come. It takes the players to come say something to the people. That's what it takes. They have to realize now they need to take the power in their own hands and put it on social media, because that's necessary now. You have the technology, you have the backing and support. If people want to know the truth, the people, you know what I'm saying? You nowadays you just need to take to social media and let the whole world know. Real shit. And I'm reading the blue check marks, but we can also. Oh yeah. This is why I think about any sued any Analuku. She sued. Well, she went to court against Mark Sampson. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was touching players too. I fuck with any heavy. She says she's planning. She's gonna be coaching Angel City. Um She says Angel City. She says these rules feed into a control. These rules feed into a culture of control and abuse or manipulation. And he told the Athletic. She said the rules that actually govern player movement are so archaic. There is no free agency. There's no player autonomy. That really reinforces this issue. If a player doesn't feel like she's free to move, she's going to accept where she's at, and she may have to accept that abusive behavior because that's her living and she can't move. It's like being in a home with no exit. The only time you can exit is if ask. Oh shit. She says it's like being in a house with no exit. The only time you can exit is if you ask the owner of the house, and it's only if they let you can go. How disturbing is that? Let me see. They said Racing Louisville's Christy Holly was also dismissed. Racing Executive Vice President of Development James O'Connell told the media the termination was not related to field performance. She says, "What are we waiting for?" And he asked. She said, "It shouldn't have to take a huge story like this for the right thing to be done." Exactly. There's a way, there's a way of kind of pushing these things under the carpet and pretending that they're not there. And she says, mm-hmm. More courage stuff. But yeah, see what Annie local did. She took the power in her own hands, and she was like, I'm gonna sue this. I'm gonna go to court, and when she won her case, let me see if I can pull up this Annie local. Mm. Yeah, she okay, so maybe it wasn't he was being racist to her. Mark Sampson, little bitch. Yeah, bitch. You bitch you. Okay, I'm just gonna show you what I just googled any and let me see. Annie and Mark Sampson. But this shit goes on, man. This shit goes on. It may be going on in your time. It may not be going on in your place of work, but maybe not to you. But this shit goes on. It says, "Oh yeah, any Luku accuses England manager Mark Sampson of racist." Oh, so he was a racist. He's who isn't nowadays. Anyways, and Nikita Paris. That's why I was so upset with the ladies. Like that they didn't. He admitted it. Oh, what a bitch. Excuse me, but It's too late. You just need to watch your mouth, boy. You don't need to be talking about the way she looks. How does the way she look make her perform differently, ho? It don't, bitch. It don't. But yeah, and I was really upset because a lot of the Lionesses that were playing under Mark Sampson, just because they brought a bronze medal, just because they got a bronze medal, they weren't supporting any. And I was upset. I was like, niggas, how y'all not support her? What, because y'all had success? Fuck that shit. But Nikita Paris apologized. Oh, she said, Any accepts Nikita Paris's apology over Mark Sampson's support. Queen. What a queen right there. Queen. We can forgive. We can forgive you. Let me see. Any Luku? What is she? What is she? February? Oh, I think she's a Pisces. But yeah. You know what I'm saying, guys. This is we're gonna see how NWSL how they bounce back from this. I mean, honestly, I don't know. If you're a former player, if you're a former player, and more coaches, if you're a former player and a coach has done sexual misconduct to you, and they're still coaching in any league, I hope you say something for the girls in the future, because they could be future victims. And then if you are a player that's thinking about going to individual, oh shit, do you want to go into an environment like this right now where it's so chaotic? You're gonna have to be peeping game. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a systematic shit. So whoever is at NWSL's headboards, whoever is in these chambers, they're devils apparently, and maybe they'll have a conscious after we light them up on social media. Let me see if anybody else. I think Alex Morgan has said something. Let me go back to Twitter. But Alex Morgan, I'm looking at you a little sideways again. I'm looking at you a couple sideways again, Alex. Okay, here's Megan. Okay, here we go. Here you go. I got it. Megan Rapinoe. She says, never once during the whole time was the right person protected. Not Naya, not Naima or Shanine. Not us, not the players, not the little girls who will come to us, the big girls who already are us, not any of us. This statement is beyond disrespectful. Hold on, what's she talking about? She commenting to Alex? No, I don't think so. She says, do we want to read this shit? Not really. Oh, Commissioner Lisa Bird. She said, I was shocked and disgusted to read the new allegations reported in The Athletic this morning. The league is in concert with North Carolina Courage, has reacted swiftly in response to these new allegations. And I wanted to know what Lisa Bird's gematria is as well. Hold on. Because because remember, I did the gematria on Portland. Oh, yeah, I did the gematria on Portland versus Washington Spirit. And then their owner had some gematria in her name. So she's like another Jesuit pawn. You know what I'm saying? Lisa Bird? Oh, yeah, she got the 35 in her name. I mean, the 75 thesis, which is when, what does it say? The 75 thesis is the Jesuit order. They created themselves to come back to 75 thesis that was created by Martin Luther, because, so she has that 75. Remember, all these people are puppets on the string to make you feel one way or another. But this shit goes on. Okay, so let me see also what I really don't care. This says this league has a place in comprehensive anti-harassment, anti-discrimination policy. In addition, the league has mandated that the league and team staff who regularly enact with players participate in training conduct for the U.S. Okay. It says the league, one, Alex says the league was informed of these allegations multiple times and refused multiple times to investigate the allegations. The league must accept responsibility for the process that failed to protect its own players from this abuse. From Cian Farley. Oh shit. To Lisa Bird. Complaint. Dear Lisa Bird, I write as a former soccer player in the National Women's Soccer League and in connection with the recent enact policies to protect players and staff and to assure a safe and inclusive workplace. I'm writing to report that when I was a player for the Portland Thorns in 2015, not I not only witnessed but also experienced firsthand extremely inappropriate conduct by Mr. Riley in 2015. I described such content in the interview with Thorne staff as part of the separate investigation regarding Mr. Riley, in addition to the experiences I reported in 2015's investigation. Mr. Riley repeatedly made harassing comments about my personal relationship and sexual orientation to other players and directly to myself. Not, no, nor no one from either the team or the individual was ever says no one from either team no one from either team or the individual ever independently investigated my allegations that I raised in 2015, despite their severe nature. I also note that numerous instances of several misconduct involving Mr. Riley occurred prior to my prime playing to NWSL. Such conduct should have no place in women's soccer. Upon the conclusion of my 2015 investigation, of which I took part, Mr. Riley was removed from the Portland Thorns, but the NWSL soon thereafter announced that he would be coach the North Carolina Courage. I'm bringing this to the attention. I'm bringing this to the league's attention, so that I can understand what steps, if any, the league intends to take connections with the inappropriate conduct that was initially reported. Given the apparent failure of the NWSL to take any of the action to protect players in response to the initial complaint, I am deeply concerned for the safety of current players, given that Mr. Riley continues to coach in NWSL. I can also make myself available for interview if the NWSL would like to discuss further. If the individual could respond by April 30th, 2021, that would be greatly appreciated. She put this on April 30, 21st, 28th. Mary Lisa. Okay, so she wrote that to Lisa and then Alex Morgan. Okay, so this is the email back. She says, thank you for your email and sharing this with me. She says, thank you for your email and for sharing this with me. For sharing your past experience with the league. I appreciate that coming forward in 2015 and again now might not have been easy. We reviewed our files and confirmed that the initial complaint was investigated to conclusion. Unfortunately, I cannot share any additional details. NWSL takes the safety of the players very seriously and believes that all players should have a safe, secure environment in which they play. I also Damn, she didn't even come back to her until May 5th. This bitch. She said April 30th. Lisa was like, nah, I'm gonna wait 5 days. Oh, this bitch. Anyways. Also, I also you to know what the fuck that in early April, the NWSL anti-harassment policy for safe work environment was published to all players, team staff league, and staff of owners. This policy is ongoing commitment to creating and maintaining a safe, respectful work environment. I am committed to ensuring that all processes of the league and our club with outside authorities are transparent, accessible to players, and most importantly, effective. Thank you once again. Blah. Okay. Very interesting. And then that's what Megan Rapinoe had said. Very interesting. Let me refresh real quick. Hold on. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, it takes the players to say something. We can't say nothing. What do you want us to say? We don't know. We didn't experience that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It says, oh shit, hold on. Abby Wambach said some shit. Oh shit. Hold on. We getting somewhere. I refresh. Abby Wambach said, Shanine, Maya, and Kaya, I believe every single word you said. I'm furious but not surprised. Look at that, she said. I'm furious but not surprised. Your pain and bravery has wrecked and ignited me today. Thank you for leading. I plan to follow Abby at the end of yourself and their commissioner, Lisa. Oh, she called it. Oh, look at her. She said the end of yourself and their commissioner. Ooh. What does it say? I always going back to Dan. Who that fuck that nigga? I don't know who that. He probably another weird, creepy dude. Wow. Oh, what about your Magic Jack days? Weren't you chummy with Daddy Dan? Oh, so this is what they were applying her to. I always go back to Dan. Ooh, Abby, they calling you out too, Abby. Ooh. Judy Fowley says, a league for women, yet end of itself fails to protect women and then tries to continue to sweep it under the rug. Support these players, believe these players, protect these players, transparency, accountability. Now, it's all on the players to say something. It's not us. I can't do nothing. I mean, I can only speak on what I come in to see, but it just says NCAA players. As I guess this is NCAA players. It says the voice of professional women's soccer players. Oh, okay. It says a statement for the players who have brought this so to light, both unknown and known. Words cannot accurately capture our anger, pain, sadness, disappointment. To the players who suffered in silence, know that the Player Association holds a safe place for you to stand. Yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone that needs to come out and talk about it. It says, thank you, Becky Sauerbrunn says, thank you, Alex, not just for supporting Maya and Shanine, but for all the work you did to get the anti-harassment policy in place to begin with. Yep. Bianca Henninger. Oh, she played for Houston as well. What'd she say? What are her thoughts? She says, quite honestly, the most disheartening aspect of all of these stories is that not only was it obvious that the individual knew what was going on, but the league provided a clear pathway for abuse to continue and for more players' careers and, more importantly, lives to be altered forever. It's never been that the league or the people in the power were unaware of these stories like this. It's just that these stories were happening across the board and still are. And the response was to minimize bad press and to skirt responsibility at every turn. This response conditions the victims to feel though that they are weak links in the machine of keeping this league afloat, and it's utterly detrimental to the mental and emotional health of all those who are directly and indirectly involved. If you are a victim of this or even merely a witness of it time again, I cannot tell you how depressing and overwhelming it is to know with full certainty that your safety plays in compassion to the vulnerability of your workplace. That was Bianca. I think she put some more too. Megan Klingenberg, we deserve better. It says, it takes real courage to speak out about abuse and harassment in the league, especially when the perpetrators are often rehired and the very institutions that are supposed to protect us from them give them a free pass for abusive behavior. Without these women speaking up, more women would be hurt, abused, and their dreams crushed. I applaud Kaya, Maya, and Sinead for taking a stand so other women won't go through the same horrific treatment. It is enraging that the individual knew about the abuse and allowed the abuser to be rehired. It's heartbreaking thinking of the women who may pay in the same situation of abuse right now due to the league's inaction. It crushes me to think that young players are terrified that they could be next. A safe a safe work environment is the lowest bar. Get the fuck to get it the fuck together, individual. It says the WPS folded due to abusive issues. The way they say we should keep quiet because there might not be a league. We should take low pay, otherwise there's no league. Don't talk about it, crappy hotels, bus fires, and the unsafe fields, the substandard medical care. I say the league will fold if we don't talk about these things. Why is it always on players' shoulders to hear the burdens? To bear why is it always on players' shoulders to bear the burdens? Why do we have to put up with the inadequate conditions and unsafe work environments while abusers get protection, good pay, and new hunting grounds to prey on young women? The league wouldn't fold, but it sure as hell wouldn't ever be the same, and that's a good thing. I'm here to remind players of their worth as humans and professional athletes. We deserve better. We deserve policies to keep us safe. We deserve free movement away from abusive environments. We deserve to be believed when we come forward, and we deserve to play with passion and freedom and purpose and joy. So that was Megan Klingenberg. Scott Parkson says, we must protect our players. Enough is enough. That's all you gotta say, boy? All right. Nikki Stanton says, heart is heavy. Thank you for all those who share their stories. Can't fathom how hard it is to relieve and share with the world, but it won't be for nothing. We will fight for you and other players, past, present, who have been in similar horrific experiences. Cat Williams, y'all Averbush. She says, "Thank you for the players thank you to the players who so bravely came forward to share their personal experiences. The entirety of NWSL is responsible for their safety and our members, and we must do more and better on their behalf." Oh yeah, so this is what Nadia Nadam says. NWSL is such a joke. League wants to see themselves as the best in the world, but with this shit that keeps coming, we won't be more than just a massive joke for the rest of the world. The rest of the world is laughing. We're nothing but a joke. The players deserve more. Christine Sinclair said, protect the players, protect women. It's everyone's responsibility to hold the standards and enforce accountability. Why are we still dealing with these mostly male transgressions? This is unacceptable. Ugh, okay, I don't know if I'm continuing to read. Rachel Corsi, we will not let this continue. Do not ignore this. Well, now, it's very important, especially because I like NWSL, right? Especially because I watch NWSL football, right? So, I mean, to make it plain and simple, this is the reality that we live in. This world under Satan, under Saturn, this goes on. Not just in sports, not just in Hollywood, but in your own very lives too. You know what I'm saying? People, this happens. So, as the people that walk the planet Earth, I mean, it's really up to us to take charge and say, hey, look, call out bullshit when you see bullshit. No more time for sugarcoating. We're in an age and time where if something's happened to you and it's the truth, you need to speak out about it because it's the right. I feel it's the right thing to do. But hey, it is what it is when it comes to your own personal life. But you could be, especially if you're in these spaces, you could be helping another player. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Tomorrow we do have individual action. We do have individual action tomorrow, but in the meantime, thank y'all for tuning in to Anita's Joint, #extendAJoint, where every day is payday, baby. And I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.